This is the New American Media.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles, to be specific. Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. Welcome to the Unhappy Hour here on the TNAM Radio Network, part of the NewAmericanMedia.com. I am your humble correspondent, Brian Engelman, joining you again. This is a place where we cover the Indians, the Cavs, the Browns, the Buckeyes. It's a place where we call it the Unhappy Hour because in my 34 years, I've never celebrated a championship for the Browns, the Cavs, or the Indians. Oh, we've had one for the Buckeyes, and how many times have we blown it? Oh, boy, do they lay a stinker this week. Whoa, against Michigan State. Wow, you wait all year to put yourself in position to play in the national championship game. All miracles happen, and you see the Auburn-Alabama game end the way that it did the week before, and with the Ohio State win on the last play of the game against that team up north, getting that interception, sealing the win. Alabama loses, Ohio State vaults itself into the national championship. Oh, wait, you got to play the Big 10 Championship, and you lost. So, we're going to talk about that, maybe talk about the Cavs' early season woes, talk about the Browns a little bit, maybe talk about some of the Major League Baseball happenings. And I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to... Well, first, I want to ask that you check out our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. We just made a few upgrades with our web designer, Ted Distel of disteldesign.com. That's D-I-S-T-E-L design.com. Did a couple of really cool things, tweaks on the site that are making it run a lot more smoothly. I certainly appreciate that. Check it out. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Search us on Facebook, The New American Media, and like our page. And follow us on Twitter at American_media_. So what I want to do is I want to get Ben Weinbrower into the program. It's been a while since we've had Ben on the show. And let's go ahead and reach out to him right about now. I love this part.
Your call has been...
I love the part during live radio where you call and you call and you call, and then you get the voicemail. That's fantastic. But that's part of live radio. It happens. So we will try again to get Ben Weinbrower into the program, but yeah, like I was saying, the whole situation with the Ohio State Buckeyes, I mean, that is exactly why you watch college football. You watch it so that you can have those moments, those brief moments where everything lines up, where everything makes sense, where everything happens in the right way. In Ohio State, they're there. They're right there. They're on the cusp. On the cusp. I mean, yes, I'll tell you what, that defense has been... The defense has been suspect all year. No doubt about it. And even in the Michigan game, just knowing that they gave away so many points to Michigan, you're just saying, man, I don't know. I just don't know if this is a national championship caliber defense. And look, that's fair to say. That is fair to say. But how do you go down 17-0 against Michigan State? You know, and that's exactly what happened. They went down. And really, it's just another crushing disappointment. The reason we do this show, The Unhappy Hour, is because we're just tired of it. You know, and it's like I said, the Indians, the Browns, and the Cavs have let me down my entire life. My entire life. And this was just another example of that happening. Just another example watching this Ohio State team. You know, and I thought that the difference maker, the wild card in this was going to be Urban Meyer. I mean, Urban's been there before. He's won 2 with Florida. He turned Bowling Green Falcons around. He turned the Utah program around. He's done a lot of good stuff. He has. But instead, on this Friday the 13th, I'm talking about the things that he didn't do. I'll tell you what, the team came out and they just did not play. I don't know, maybe they did play up to their potential. I don't think that they did. I think they kind of blew it today. Well, I'm sorry, blew it for the last game against Michigan State. Really just a massive disappointment. You know, and while we're talking about massive disappointments, what about the Cleveland Cavs? While I'm doing this live, the Cavs are down 8-15. By the way, I know it's only a couple minutes in the game. Of course, it's against Orlando, so why is it even that close? All right, that's fair enough, but that's beside the point. Carrying on, I mean, the Cavs started their season with a lot of promise, with a lot of hope, with a lot of expectations. I mean, that's exactly what they were doing. Went out and beat the New Jersey Nets. I'm sorry, the Brooklyn Nets. All right, you caught me doing it. Against the Brooklyn Nets. Turns out the Nets aren't much of a team thus far either. But I mean, they went out and they signed some people. Andrew Bynum going out and getting Jarrett Jack, going out and getting the #1 pick in the draft. You expect more than Anthony Bennett, not even, well, hardly even playing in the games. I mean, it's looking like an incredible flop, and it's early in the season. It's early in the season, but you're just wondering if this Anthony Bennett is a complete and total bust. And those are the things you just cannot afford to do. Those are the things you just absolutely cannot do when you're a rebuilding team. You have to hit on those draft picks. Now, maybe you don't have to hit the home run, but you got to hit a double. You got to get runners on base in scoring position to put some pressure on. And, early season troubles with Dion Waiters. Hell, even Kyrie Irving's having problems, and maybe Kyrie's having problems with Dion Waiters. Not even certain about that, but it's just another disappointing situation for a Cleveland sports fan. Hence the title, The Unhappy Hour. Cleveland Browns. I mean, more draft picks. Hell, even Josh Gordon is setting records. Setting records that I mean, in the history of NFL football. I mean, he's setting record after record. He's setting Cleveland Browns franchise records. He's setting the only player in NFL history to record 200 yards receiving back-to-back. He set it. I mean, in a 4-game stretch, nobody's had more yards, 700 something. I don't have the number in front of me. I mean, record after record. And this is with 2 quarterbacks. 2 different quarterbacks. Hell, did he get playing time with Brian Hoyer earlier this year? I mean, he is looking fantastic out there, but guess what? The team isn't. The team is 4-9. How many 4-9 seasons have the Cleveland Browns had over the past few years? Seriously. How many? I mean, losing the New England game the way that they did. I was talking with my father, and it was another one of those situations where how many possible ways could they screw up a game? New England, you let them get back into the game. You have a pass interference penalty that gives them the 1st and goal so that they can get a touchdown to cut the lead. Then you muff the onside kick and you give them the ball back. Then you allow them in a field goal. Then you get the ball back. Then you drive down. Cleveland Browns down at this point by 1. Long field goal for the field goal kicker. Billy Cundiff misses it. It's short. It was like pulling teeth. It was so frustrating to watch, to observe, and it's just another day in the life of being a Cleveland Browns fan. I mean, the last 2 weeks, Patriots lost. We lost 26-27 on a nail biter. Jacksonville the week before lost 28-32. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Well, I understand how you could lose to New England." And by the way, that TJ Ward hit does bother me. I don't like players going for the knees. I know that's my boy. I know I'm rooting for the laundry. And I know you're not supposed to talk trash about your own guy. But listen, you don't do that. Taking Rob Gronkowski out for the season. Blowing out his knee. You don't do that to people. Oh, you can't go to the head. It's a new rule. Stop it. You go for the waist. He's a big guy. I can't take him down. Then get bigger. You don't blow out somebody's knee. I don't like that play. I played defensive end. I had a lot of players go for my knee, and that was probably the thing that would bother me the most. I mean, because you got to defend yourself. It's like I'm not going to let you destroy me out there. You know, I mean, we did legitimately get beaten pretty handily by Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, but you know, this season has just been strange. That 3-game winning streak against the Vikings, the Bengals, and the Bills kind of got smoked by the Lions and the Packers. But that Kansas City game was a game that we could have won. Baltimore, we did. You know, now 3 left, mercifully. 3 games left. Chicago, New York, Pittsburgh. To get out of this season. You know? Just, and by the way, as the Browns get ready to play the Chicago Bears, how would you feel about Jay Cutler at quarterback? Still got to figure out who he's handing off to, but what if he's throwing to Jordan Cameron? What if he's the one slinging it to Josh Gordon? He's going to be a free agent after the season. Because seriously, what do the Browns do in the offseason at quarterback? I mean, unless you think Brian Hoyer or Jason Campbell are the answer. I don't know. Who do you like coming out in the draft? There's got to be somebody that can play quarterback in the NFL coming out in the draft. Right? All right, let's try this again. Let's try to get Ben back on the program. Ben Weinbrower. Beauties of live radio. Give it another shot. Give it another go.
Your call.
Well, clearly that ain't gonna be working. A lot like the Cleveland sports teams that I'm rooting for. It's just not working all that well. You know, so where do the Buckeyes go from here? Buckeye fans. Let's swing this back around. You know, I don't know. Do you blame the refs on that call against the Browns, against Pittsburgh, or against the Patriots, rather? I don't know. Kind of looked like a phantom pass interference call. Kinda. But I don't know. At some point, you just got to leave it all out on the floor. And by floor, I mean field, of course. Yeah, I don't know. But let's go sport to sport here. I'm mixing metaphors here. Mixing sports. Man, this Buckeye season, so disappointing. 24 straight wins, and then this loss. 24-34 to the Spartans. And my buddy's coming out here now to go to Pasadena to the Rose Bowl. You know, I'm supposed to be excited to see my friend. His wife is a Spartan. How the heck am I supposed to be excited to see him, knowing that I felt like I was supposed to be going to that championship game? I don't know. But they're coming out. But so here's what's going on now. You have number 7 Ohio State playing number 12 Clemson. Big 10 versus ACC. In the Discover Orange Bowl, Friday, January 3rd, 8:30 p.m. EST on ESPN. 10-2 Clemson, 12-1 Ohio State. Who do you like in the game? Yeah, I still like the Buckeyes, but it's kind of it's very disappointing. You know, now I'm just kind of thinking, who's going to be sticking around? Braxton Miller, Ryan Shazier, You know, a lot of that offensive line is graduating. Does Luke Fickell come back as defensive coordinator? Because that was kind of the weak link most of the year. Luke Fickell. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. I'm just kind of finding it hard to get excited. I'm finding it difficult to be excited for this Orange Bowl. Michigan State, they did it. They did this to the Buckeyes back in 1998. I remember I was out on a date at the time. Where was I at? I was at a Red Lobster, and I kept trying. And this was before the age of cell phones. This was 90. Wow, I don't know. Oh man, I guess it was 98. There we go. That's pretty easy because I just said 1998. Before everybody had instant access to everything, you could sneak a peek and okay, there's a score. I remember sneaking over to the bar, you know, on a trip to the restroom and trying to catch the score and just being devastated by that loss when the #1 Buckeyes were taken out by the Spartans back then. You know, it's one of those things you remember where you're at. And I'm telling you, that was one of the best college football Saturdays I've had maybe in my lifetime. 2 weeks ago, when Auburn beat Alabama on that field goal that missed in the return all the way back. That was after the Buckeyes won, and we're just sitting there at number 3 going, well, how are we going to play in the championship? We're undefeated. What more can we do? 24 in a row. And vaulted to number 2. All right, let's just take care of the Spartans, and we're in. Ugh. Extreme high to extreme low. So I don't know. What are you supposed to do with that? I mean, I guess we could say, well, there's always next year. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Is that what we're going to be talking about? Seriously? There's always next year? I mean, we could talk about Ohio State being number 2 in the USA Today Coaches Poll in NCAA basketball, 8-0. Or number 3 in the AP Top 25, 8-0. Oh, that's good, right? We can start paying attention to that. I don't know. Cleveland Browns, this is the first year that the team has had to evaluate what they have. Look, I'm just switching off the Buckeyes at this point. I mean, what more can I say? They blew it. They were beaten by a solid team. And here we are. Oh, you know what I could talk about? Yeah, this is something. How about Ohio? I'm sorry. How about the Bowling Green Falcons? The Falcons won their bowl game the other night. I'm calling it a bowl game. I know it's not a bowl game. But they won the MAC championship. And I'm pretty impressed by that. I'm pretty happy with it. So Bowling Green was able to win over Northern Illinois. And I think that's pretty sweet. Congratulations. That's where I went to school, the Bowling Green Falcons. Very excited for them. Very happy they beat Northern Illinois. Really excited. You know, and that's where Urban Meyer got his head coaching debut. Back in the day before he went to Utah, then Florida, and now Ohio State. We called him Urban Liar because he said he wasn't leaving, and of course he took that money and ran. But the 10-3 Bowling Green Falcons beat Northern Illinois 47-27. That was a week ago today. Pretty sweet. I think that was pretty cool. So congratulations to BG. Hey, in Illinois, Northern Illinois, they got a Heisman quality quarterback playing over there. So I mean, that was a pretty solid performance they had against Jordan Lynch. So kudos to Bowling Green and their defense. Really impressed with that. Kudos to them. All right, moving along. the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they got to get some help for Josh Gordon. I mean, they have Jordan Cameron. Don't get me wrong. You know, and it's funny because I've been playing fantasy football this year. I think in 2 different leagues, and then helping out in a third league. You know, and so Jordan Cameron has been on the radar. Josh Gordon is somebody I picked. You know, because he was suspended for those first 2 games. I picked him in like the second to last round. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna hold on to him for a minute. Man, has he come through in the clutch. But, I mean, really, you see the difference between Brandon Weeden and Brian Hoyer and Jordan Cameron. You know, like when you see different quarterbacks come in, who's throwing to Greg Little, who's throwing to Devon Best, who's throwing to Josh Gordon, who's throwing to Cameron. It's really interesting. So, I mean, I never played receiver, so I'm not really sure how difficult it is to, you know, run routes and get the timing right with different quarterbacks. I don't know. This Josh Gordon is really something special. So please, Josh, keep your head clean. Keep your life in order, bro. You know, he's had some problems in the past, and I mean, this is well, I mean, look at the records he's breaking. This could be a once in a lifetime talent. So I mean, I'm really happy to see that emerging. But what are the Cleveland Browns doing at running back? You get rid of Bobby Rainey. He's tearing it up down there, down in Tampa Bay. Wouldn't it be nice to still have him to plug and play? Because Lord knows McGahee and hell, Trent Richardson and Chris Ogbonnaya, like, they weren't getting anything done back there at running back. You know, we really have to figure out the running back position. Really need to figure out a long-term plan at quarterback. It's just something on defense isn't there. Something is not clicking. Is it just the secondary? I don't know. I've seen great games out of Joe Hayden, and I've seen him kind of swing and miss on some plays that have cost games, but I'm going to give this regime a little bit of time. Chudzinski. I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt, if you will, just a little bit. And you know why? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because this is the team he has. They've had a draft, okay, and you really get to take a look at what you have. Take stock in everything that you need. And I consider year 2 to be a make or break moment. Either you do get better or you don't. And it's pretty straightforward. Either you're going to get better or you're not. And I don't have patience for regimes saying, oh, you got to have patience. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You need to get better. You need to get better fast. So, I mean, we'll see. We're sitting here looking at another high draft pick. I mean, I wanted to be fighting for a playoff spot. I did not want to be in the hunt. You know, looking at number 1 draft picks. I'm so tired of playing for draft picks. Once again, the Browns have one of the worst records in the league, sitting there at 4-9. Other teams at 4-9: Jaguars, Raiders, Bills, Buccaneers. Teams that are even worse than that: Vikings, the Falcons. Jeez. Falcons at 3-10. The Redskins at 3-10. Man, they've gone backward too. Yeah, I mean. All right, well, I mean, at least you can look around and see teams like Atlanta and Washington, 3-10. Not that I'm gaining pleasure from looking at the Falcons and looking at the Redskins at 3-10, but I mean, and there's Houston at 2-11. Yeah, so I guess that's the thing about the Browns. They're at least consistently bad. I don't. I mean, they're going to have, if the season ended today, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhere 6th or 7th pick in the draft? That could get you a quarterback. And the Browns have been stockpiling draft picks. That's a shame, though, when you're supposed to be talking about playoffs when you're talking about draft picks this time of the season. But let's face it, that's just the way things are right now. So, I mean, we're going to see what happens with the Browns. They got 3 more games. I mean, that's a question I'm kind of curious to find out. Are you rooting for the Browns to win or for the Browns to lose? I don't know. What are you supposed to be rooting for? I'm not sure if I have the answer to that. I don't know what I'm rooting for. Maybe whatever happens, we win. Maybe that is the case at this point. If they start winning, hey, they're learning how to win. Fantastic. If they keep losing, well, it'll get them a better draft pick. I don't know. So tired of that argument. But hey, don't look now, but the Cleveland Cavaliers are only 1/2 game out of a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Yes, you heard that right. With a .381 winning percentage, Cleveland 8-13, just a half game back of Chicago. Ah, that Derrick Rose injury, too bad. Not that I'm a Bulls fan, but I don't know. I don't like seeing that. So we'll see. Cavs on a 2-game winning streak, having a little bit of problems tonight against Orlando, but it's a long season. We'll see how it all shakes out. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you other than the guest we were trying to have today. Something snafu'd. Something didn't work. So we'll have to get him back another time. And yeah. That's what I got for you. Went from extreme elation to just heartbreak and misery with the Buckeyes. The Browns, it is just a chore to watch this team. Thankfully, at least there's Josh Gordon and something to cheer about. Cavs, hey, the Bynum signing is looking pretty solid at this point. Kind of wondering how Kyrie Irving can be so up and down. But it's a long season. So let's hope they can get it going. I don't know. Then there's Major League Baseball. I mean, what do we have that the Indians are up to? You're looking at what's going on. I don't know. Roberto Hernandez is signed with the Phillies. Formerly known as Fausto Carmona, arrested in January 2012. Oh, man. Formerly known as. I don't know. They're talking about trading Justin Masterson. Do they do that? Do they not do that? I don't know what the right move is there. I don't know, but sure as heck doesn't look like the Indians are making a lot of big splash moves. They certainly not spending over $200 million to sign Robinson Cano. You know, and that is the question. I mean, was that a smart move for the Mariners to make? I don't know. How's it working out for the Angels? Signing Josh Hamilton. Signing Albert Pujols. How are the Yankees liking that Alex Gonzalez trade? Or signing, rather. I don't know. the interesting component of this is you need to know when to be a seller and when to be a buyer. You know, it looks like the Indians have turned things around where they can be buyers. You know, maybe you don't max out your credit card to do so, but I'd like to see them start adding some key pieces. You know, I've just been seeing pieces leaving. There's a Scott Kazmir 2-year, $20 million deal to go over to the Oakland A's. The artist formerly known as Fausto Carmona to the Phillies. Are we shopping Justin Masterson? There's unanswered questions. So, we'll have to see how it all plays out. Anyhow, we'll be back again next week. Maybe we'll actually have the guests that we're intending to have on the program at that point. Not sure where the snafu occurred, but actually, I'm going to send him a text. Where were you? Where were you? Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to sign off because that Buckeye loss stings. We'll keep our eyes peeled on the Cavs. I mean, there's a lot of season left. They're right there. Look at that roster with Varejao and Waiters and Tristan Thompson and Kyrie Irving and Andrew Bynum, and you say that team could make the playoffs. You know, is that going to make it more or less likely that LeBron returns next year? Time will tell. Are we rooting for the Cavs to win, or are we rooting for the Cavs to lose? Lord help me, I don't know. Can we please get back to the days where it's just like the 90s Indians and we know what we're rooting for? Rooting to dominate, rooting to win a World Series. No, we didn't get one, but we went to 2. I like knowing where we stand. This whole, did the Browns lose so they can get a better draft? I hate that. That's not the point of competition. But there's a time to sell and a time to buy, and let's hope that the Cavs make the moves to make this team as strong as possible. And I hope that the Browns add those pieces that are missing so that we can become contenders not next year instead of unstable laughingstock. I'd like to get rid of that. So anyway, I'm going to sign out. Thank you very much for listening to me today, minus my guest. I certainly do appreciate it. Please check out our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. Follow us on Twitter at American_media_. Search The New American Media with spaces in between on Facebook and like our page. And subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. For everybody here at the TNAM Radio Network, my name's Brian Engelman, signing out for this episode of The Unhappy Hour, where I am legitimately unhappy with the Buckeyes. I'm numb to the Browns. I'm looking out of the corner of my eye at those Cavs. And just kind of tapping my watch, tapping my foot, looking at the Indians, saying, how are you getting better? How are you getting better? That's why we do the show, and we thank you for listening. Peace.
You are listening to The New American Media.